When you ask your child, "Can you do it yourself?" and they immediately melt down, push back, or shout, "No," it can feel like you are doing something wrong as a parent. But here is the surprising truth. In Japan, this exact moment plays out very differently. Children pause, try, and often complete the task with quiet determination. And the difference has nothing to do with temperament. It has everything to do with how Japanese parents intentionally build self-regulation before age 3. Today, we are going to break down what decades of developmental research, combined with well-documented Japanese parenting traditions, reveal about calm independence, emotional strength, and healthy child behavior. And here's the best part. These principles align beautifully with what we know in Western psychology as gentle parenting. Over the next few minutes, we will analyze the root of the problem, explore why children in many countries resist independence while Japanese children embrace it, and uncover the cultural and neurological foundations behind their remarkable self-control. Then I will show you 10 practical Japanese-inspired rules you can start using today. No pressure, no perfection, just science-based connection. And once you understand the psychology behind these quiet rituals, your child's reactions will suddenly make sense. Why modern parents struggle with independence and emotional regulation. One of the most common frustrations I hear from parents is this: why does my child get angry the moment I ask them to do something on their own? Whether it is putting on shoes, picking up toys, or climbing into their car seat. So many toddlers react with resistance, whining, or full emotional collapse, and it often leaves parents feeling confused, guilty, or convinced they are failing at independence training. But here's what developmental psychology reveals. Your child is not misbehaving. Their reaction is not a flaw in their personality or a sign that you haven't taught enough. It is a stress response, an overload in the nervous system triggered when a task feels too big, too sudden, or too unfamiliar. In other words, your child isn't refusing independence, they're overwhelmed by it. Now here is where the contrast with Japanese families becomes fascinating. In Japan, independence is not introduced as a sudden expectation. It is embedded quietly into the culture, starting in the first years of life. Babies watch adults model patience, routine, slowness, and predictable patterns long before anyone asks them to try something independently. And this changes everything about their child behavior. Research from the OECD and multiple Japanese developmental studies shows that children raised in consistency-rich environments develop stronger self-regulation pathways. They are exposed to fewer abrupt emotional shifts, less verbal intensity, and fewer high-stimulation interactions. In simple terms, their nervous systems stay calmer, so they learn more effectively. Meanwhile, in Western households, despite the best intentions, parents often rush, multitask, or step in quickly to help. Tasks become transactional, let's just get this done, rather than relational. And this unintentionally builds the pattern. When something feels hard, someone will do it for me. This is where gentle parenting offers powerful insight. It teaches us that independence must grow from connection, not pressure from modeling, not commands. A child can only do hard things when they believe they are safe, capable, and supported. Japanese parenting practices simply operationalize this truth. They turn calm, predictable routines into the foundation for autonomy. And when children feel emotionally steady, independence stops being a threat and becomes an opportunity. Japanese principle, shitsuke, discipline through consistency, not punishment. When Western parents hear the word discipline, they often imagine correction, consequences, or behavior management strategies. But in Japanese culture, the closest equivalent shitsuke means something entirely different. It refers to guiding a child through environmental consistency and emotional modeling, not through verbal pressure or punitive responses. In many ways, it is the living embodiment of gentle parenting, long before the term became popular in the United States. In Japanese homes, toddlers learn rules by observing adults repeat them, not by being instructed repeatedly. If a cup spills, the parent quietly cleans it while the child watches. If toys need to be put away, the parent moves slowly and wordlessly, demonstrating the rhythm of tidying before ever expecting the child to participate. This approach leans on a core neurological principle. Children learn self-regulation through imitation, not instruction. Albert Bandura's observational learning research demonstrated this decades ago, and Japan operationalizes it daily. Young children spend years absorbing calm movement, predictable routines, and reserved emotional tone. And what they absorb becomes the template for their child behavior. Neurologically, repeated exposure to calm patterns strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for impulse control and problem solving. When these circuits are shaped early, Children naturally display fewer tantrums and more patience, not because they are better behaved, but because their inner world feels safe and predictable enough to stay regulated. Meanwhile, in many Western households, the emotional landscape is more variable. Adults rush, multitask, raise their voices from across the room, or shift quickly from calm to stressed. These changes are normal and human, but they create a degree of unpredictability that young nervous systems struggle to process. The result? Japanese children don't necessarily have more self-control. They simply grow up in environments where self-control is easier to access. This distinction is essential. It means independence isn't a product of strictness. It's a product of stability, something entirely aligned with gentle parenting values. Japanese attachment style. Ame, dependence that creates independence. To understand Japanese parenting, you must understand ame. It is the cultural belief that a child's early dependence, wanting closeness, wanting to be held, wanting emotional warmth, is not a sign of weakness, but a necessary foundation for later independence. This stands in contrast to many Western parenting messages that encourage babies to self-soothe early, sleep independently as soon as possible, or avoid spoiling a child with too much affection. But research consistently shows that secure attachment does the opposite. It accelerates autonomy. Japanese psychologist Takeo Doi described ame as the emotional fuel that allows a child to step into the world with confidence. When a baby or toddler receives consistent warmth, responsiveness, and acceptance, their brain develops stronger pathways for emotional regulation. They trust their caregiver's availability, so they do not cling anxiously nor resist separation forcefully. In neuroscience terms, security enhances exploration. Studies on infant attachment across Japan, the United States, and Europe show that children with a strong early sense of emotional safety exhibit better frustration tolerance, smoother transitions, and fewer stress-induced meltdowns. These are all markers of resilient child behavior. This is why toddlers in Japan often attempt difficult tasks without protest. Their emotional tank is full. They don't interpret challenge as threat. They interpret it as opportunity. Their brains are primed for autonomy because their early dependence was honored, not rushed. Here's where this aligns with modern gentle parenting. Gentle parenting says connection must come before correction. Japanese ame says dependency must come before independence. They are the same truth expressed through two cultures. Western parents often fear that doing too much for their child will prevent independence. Japanese parents believe the opposite. Providing enough closeness early on creates the emotional stability needed for independence later. The result is a child who does not see autonomy as abandonment. They see it as a natural extension of a secure relationship. This is the bridge between Japanese culture and neuroscience. Warm dependence, secure attachment, self-regulation, independence, a progression supported by decades of global child development research. Solutions: 10 Japanese-inspired rules parents can apply today. Rule 1. Let the child try first. The 10-15-second pause that changes everything. One of the most transformative Japanese parenting practices is surprisingly simple. Parents pause before intervening. When a toddler struggles to put on socks, scoop rice, or zip a jacket, the adult waits calmly, quietly for 10 to 15 seconds. No rushing, no correcting, no stepping in automatically. Why is this pause so powerful? From a neuroscience perspective, this moment of quiet effort is where executive functioning develops. The child is not just trying to put on socks. They are building working memory. Which hand first? Inhibitory control, don't give up, and cognitive flexibility. Try a different angle. These 3 skills form the foundation of strong child behavior later in childhood. Western parents often assume helping quickly is supportive, but the child's brain interprets constant assistance differently. If I struggle, someone will take over. I don't need to persist. In Japan, children develop a very different internal narrative. If I struggle, I can figure it out. I've done this before. This quiet window, just a few seconds, is a form of gentle parenting in action. Not the soft, permissive type people sometimes misunderstand, but the neuroscience-backed version. Support through presence, not pressure. The adult stays near, emotionally available, but does not interrupt the learning process. Studies from developmental psychology show that toddlers offered just right challenges and uninterrupted effort time exhibit higher task persistence by preschool age. Meanwhile, children who are over-assisted display lower confidence in problem-solving tasks, even when they are perfectly capable. Japanese parents call this principle misholu, mamoru, to protect a child by watching over rather than stepping in. By incorporating this 10-15 second pause into your routine, you create the ideal learning environment. Safe, loving, patient, predictable. And those qualities activate exactly the networks in the brain that gentle parenting aims to strengthen. This doesn't eliminate frustration, but it transforms frustration into growth. Rule 2. The one-word cue tradition: calm communication that regulates the nervous system. If you observe Japanese parents in public spaces, on trains, in parks, or at school entrances, you'll notice something striking. They rarely use long speeches, threats, or overloaded explanations when guiding children. Instead, they use short, specific, gentle cues such as atsui, hot, abunai, dener, yukuri, slowly, matnai, wait. Why does this minimalist communication work so well? Because a toddler's brain cannot process long verbal instructions during moments of emotional activation. When a child is overstimulated, rushed, or frustrated, their auditory processing decreases and the limbic system takes over, meaning they literally cannot hear a 5-sentence lecture. A single-word cue, delivered warmly and predictably, bypasses the overwhelm. It acts like a lighthouse in the fog, brief, bright, and easy to orient to. In gentle parenting, we often talk about regulating the adult's nervous system first. Japanese communication traditions operationalize this beautifully. A soft, neutral tone paired with a short word sends a physiological message. You are safe. You know what to do. I am here. Rather than escalating behavior with more noise, it stabilizes it. A 2018 study on parent-child communication in Japan found that short cues reduce toddler stress responses measurably, lowering cortisol levels within minutes. In contrast, long corrective speeches increase cortisol because they feel overwhelming, not guiding. This explains why Japanese children often cooperate seamlessly in public spaces. They are accustomed to consistent cues, predictable tone, minimal verbal intensity, emotional containment from adults. Their nervous systems stay regulated, so their child behavior follows. For Western parents, adopting this rule does two things simultaneously. It reduces overstimulation for the child. It reduces emotional exhaustion for the parent. Instead of narrating corrections, you need to stop running. It's dangerous. People are walking here. You offer a single anchor word. Slowly, gentle. Wait. The word becomes a signal, a rhythm, a shared language of calm. Over time, children internalize these cues and respond before dysregulation escalates. That's not obedience, it's emotional alignment. Rule 3. Real responsibilities. Why Japanese children join household tasks from age 2. If you walk into a Japanese home during mealtime, you will notice something unusual to Western eyes. Toddlers helping set the table. A 3-year-old carefully carrying chopsticks. A 4-year-old helping rinse rice. A 5-year-old wiping the table with quiet concentration. These are not chores. They are shared responsibilities, embedded into family life, not added on top of it. And this cultural approach has profound effects on child behavior and emotional development. Research from developmental psychologist Dr. Marty Rossman found that children who participated in household tasks from a young age demonstrated significantly higher self-efficacy, time management skills, and emotional resilience in adolescence. Japanese families have practiced this approach for centuries, not to teach responsibility, but to reinforce a child's role in the group. The Japanese mindset is simple. You matter to us. What you do matters to the group. This feeling of contribution activates a powerful shift in a child's brain. Instead of seeing tasks as burdens, they experience them as belonging. And belonging is one of the strongest motivators for cooperation. Western parents often avoid giving toddlers real responsibilities because they worry things will spill, break, or slow down the routine. But here is the developmental truth. Good outcomes do not build competence. Good attempts do. A toddler who imperfectly carries a cup is strengthening fine motor pathways, planning skills, body awareness, frustration tolerance. These micro-experiences build the foundation. Gentle parenting aims to cultivate autonomy without pressure, confidence without perfectionism. What makes the Japanese approach especially effective is the emotional tone. Tasks are performed slowly, mindfully, and without correction, unless safety is involved. The adult models calm persistence, and the child follows. There is no praise overload, no sticker charts, no good job every 30 seconds. The process itself is reinforcing. Children raised in this environment learn to stay focused, tolerate repetition, contribute meaningfully, take pride in shared outcomes. The result? A child who sees themselves as capable, not just obedient. And capability is one of the strongest predictors of stable, regulated child behavior later on. Rule 4. Walk together. How Japanese parents use calm co-participation instead of carrying or forcing. In many Western households, when a toddler refuses to walk, whether at home, in a parking lot, or on the way to daycare, parents instinctively pick them up, negotiate, or escalate into threats. The intention is understandable. Everyone is busy, everyone is rushing. But in Japan, you'll observe something different. When a child resists walking, parents tend to pause, wait for emotional regulation, and then say calmly, "Let's walk together." Not "Hurry up," not "You're making us late," not "If you don't walk, I'll carry you." Just a simple, steady invitation to co-regulate. This gentle approach is grounded in two core principles. Children cooperate better when they feel physically and emotionally aligned with their caregiver. Movement is a self-regulating activity. When a child is carried while dysregulated, their body stops practicing the motor patterns that help them calm down. But when the adult walks with them matching pace, lowering their posture to the child's height, and offering quiet presence, the child gradually returns to a regulated state. This is why Japanese parents often walk slowly, even in busy areas. They treat walking as emotional reset, sensory integration, shared connection. Neuroscience supports this approach. Bilateral movement, left-right stepping, stimulates the corpus callosum and reduces stress signals in the amygdala. This is why walking is commonly used in therapy as a grounding technique for anxiety, even in adults. For toddlers, who lack mature executive functioning, walking alongside a calm adult is one of the fastest ways to reorganize the nervous system. From a gentle parenting standpoint, walk together is not permissive. It is corrective through connection. The message becomes, "You can calm down. I will help you. We do this together." And as the child internalizes this pattern, their child behavior shifts. They begin to resist less, transition more smoothly, regain control faster, trust the adult's guidance. Over time, this external co-regulation becomes internal self-regulation, the ultimate goal of independence training. The long-term strategy. How Japanese parenting quietly builds adult-level skills by age 6. What truly sets Japanese parenting apart is not the individual rules, it is the long-term architecture behind them. Every small moment, walking together, waiting 10 seconds before helping, offering one-word cues, allowing children to join household routines feeds into a developmental strategy built on 3 pillars: autonomy, emotional steadiness, and social responsibility. And here is the key insight. Japanese parents are not training behavior. They are training the brain. Let me explain. When a child practices self-regulation in tiny, daily moments, their brain repeatedly activates the prefrontal cortex, the center for planning, inhibition control, and flexible thinking. Over years of repetition, these neural pathways become stronger, more efficient, and more accessible during stress. This means that by age 6, many Japanese children naturally display high frustration tolerance, collaborative problem solving, emotional restraint in public, respect for group needs, strong intrinsic motivation. These traits look like good child behavior, but beneath the surface, they are markers of well-developed executive functioning. The same skills associated with academic success, long-term well-being, and emotional resilience. In contrast, Western parents often begin independence training later, during the toddler or preschool years, when the child's nervous system is already wired to expect more assistance and faster adult intervention. The shift feels abrupt, which is why resistance appears so strong. Japanese strategy avoids this friction by starting early, going slow, and staying consistent. It builds the scaffolding long before independence is demanded. And gentle parenting aligns beautifully with this approach, because both focus on cultivating internal strength, not external compliance. Japanese children become independent because they were allowed to depend first. Here is the twist most Western parents never expect. Japanese independence is built on early dependence, not early separation. This contradicts much of the popular parenting advice in the U.S. and Europe, where independence is often encouraged through early self-soothing, sleeping alone, quicker transitions, minimizing clinginess, reducing neediness. But neuroscience tells a very different story. A child cannot regulate themselves until they have experienced repeated cycles of co-regulation. They cannot be calm alone until they have been calm with someone. They cannot walk independently until they have walked together. This is why the Japanese concept of ame is such a powerful twist. It teaches us, when a child is allowed to lean, they become steadier. When a child is allowed closeness, they explore farther. When a child feels accepted, they resist less. When a child receives comfort early, they need less reassurance later. In practical terms, This means the very behaviors Western parents worry about, wanting to be held, wanting proximity, seeking comfort, are not signs of weakness, but signs of healthy attachment. And secure attachment is the most reliable predictor of fewer tantrums, smoother transitions, stronger self-regulation, better emotional awareness, cooperative child behavior. This is why Japanese children often appear calm, capable, and independent. Their independence is not forced. It is grown. Here's the twist in one sentence. A child who feels deeply supported becomes a child who feels deeply capable. When parents shift from, how do I make my child independent, to, how do I help my child feel safe while learning independence, everything changes. That is the heart of gentle parenting. And that is the quiet secret behind Japan's most admired parenting outcomes. As we step back and look at these Japanese parenting principles, patience, consistency, emotional safety, shared responsibility, we begin to see a pattern. None of them rely on pressure. None depend on strictness. And none require perfection. They simply honor how a child's brain learns best, through connection, repetition, and gentle guidance. Japanese children are not calmer or more independent because they are naturally easier. They grow those qualities through thousands of small moments where adults lead quietly and children follow confidently. And the truth is, every parent, no matter where you live, can use these principles to build stronger emotional regulation, healthier child behavior, and deeper trust at home. So now the question becomes yours. Is this a bold strategy that could transform independence for children worldwide, or a culturally unique approach that may not work everywhere? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you found this analysis helpful, subscribe for more science-based insights on gentle parenting, child development, and global parenting traditions. Together, we can raise children who are not only capable but connected, confident, and emotionally strong.